Do you know that feeling? It's Sunday evening, and a vague sense of dread starts to creep in. They call it the Sunday Scaries. It's the anxiety of an approaching week that feels like a tidal wave of meetings, emails, and responsibilities, all threatening to pull you under. You wake up on Monday morning already feeling behind, reacting to everyone else's priorities, and by Friday, you're exhausted, wondering where all the time went and why your most important projects are still untouched. I used to live that way every single week. My calendar was a chaotic mess of other people's agendas. But what if I told you that you could transform that feeling? What if you could wake up on Monday morning feeling calm, clear, and in complete control, knowing exactly what you need to do to have a successful and fulfilling week? That transformation for me came from a simple but powerful 30-minute ritual that I practice every single Sunday. It's my weekly planning session, and over the years, I've refined it into a system that allows me to be proactive instead of reactive, to focus on what truly matters, and to end my week feeling accomplished, not just busy. Today, I'm going to walk you through my exact step-by-step process for how I plan my week for maximum productivity. This isn't just about making a to-do list. This is about becoming the architect of your time, designing your week with intention, and setting yourself up to win before the week even begins. Before we dive into the nuts and bolts of the process, it's crucial to understand the philosophy behind it. Most of the world operates in reactive mode. Our days are dictated by the dings of our email inbox, the notifications on our phone, and the last-minute requests that land on our desk. We become firefighters, constantly putting out small fires, but never getting the chance to build anything meaningful. Weekly planning is the antidote to this. It's the act of switching from being a firefighter to being an architect. You step back from the chaos, look at the blueprint of your goals, and intentionally design a structure for your week that supports them. There's a famous quote from President Eisenhower: "Plans are worthless, but planning is everything." The point of this weekly ritual isn't to create a rigid minute-by-minute schedule that will shatter the moment something unexpected happens. Life is too unpredictable for that. The true value is in the act of planning itself. It gives you three incredible advantages: clarity, focus, and freedom. Clarity comes from untangling the mess of thoughts in your head and identifying what is truly important. Focus comes from deciding in advance where you will direct your most valuable resource, your attention. And finally, freedom comes from the reduced stress and anxiety of knowing that you have a plan. You can be more present in your downtime because you know that everything important has a time and a place later in the week. So, how do we get started? Let's talk about the setup. It's incredibly simple. First, the timing. I do my weekly planning session every Sunday evening. For me, it's the perfect time to close out the previous week and get mentally prepared for the one ahead. It turns the Sunday Scaries into Sunday strategy, but the specific time doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Maybe for you, it's Friday afternoon before you log off, or first thing on Monday morning with a cup of coffee. Pick a time, put it in your calendar as a recurring appointment, and protect it. Second, the tools. People get obsessed with finding the perfect app, but the tools are far less important than the process. My system uses three simple things: a digital calendar, like Google Calendar or Outlook; a digital task manager, I use Todoist, but this could easily be Asana, Notion, or even the Reminders app on your phone; and finally, the most important tool of all, a simple, physical notebook and a pen. The physical act of writing helps to clarify thinking in a way that typing often doesn't. That's it, a consistent time and a few simple tools. Now, let's walk through the 5 steps of the actual planning process. Step 1 is the brain dump. I open my notebook to a fresh page, and for about 5 to 10 minutes, I write down everything, and I mean everything, that is on my mind. Every task, every idea, every worry, every errand, things I need to buy at the store, people I need to call, big project deadlines, vague anxieties. I don't filter it, I don't organize it. The goal is simply to get it all out of my head and onto the paper. This single act creates an incredible sense of mental space and clarity. Your brain is great at having ideas, but it's terrible at holding on to them. By externalizing them, you free up your mind to think clearly instead of just trying to remember things. Step 2 is the reflection and review. Before you can plan where you're going, you need to know where you've been. I turn the page in my notebook and I look back at the week that just passed. I pull up last week's calendar and my task list, and I ask myself 3 questions. First, what went well? What were my biggest wins? Did I finish a big project? Did I stick to my workout routine? I write these down. This isn't about ego, it's about building momentum and practicing gratitude for the progress I've made. Second, what didn't go so well? Where did I get stuck? What were the biggest challenges or time wasters? Was I distracted? Did I overcommit myself? Being honest here is crucial. This is how you identify bottlenecks and make adjustments for the week ahead. And third, what's left over? I scan my lists for any unfinished tasks or commitments that need to be carried over. This ensures nothing important falls through the cracks between one week and the next. Now that we have a clear head and the lessons from last week, we move to step 3, the goal setting. This is where we look forward. I turn to a new page in my notebook and I ask myself the most important question of the entire process. If this week were to be a huge success, what are the 3 most important things I would need to accomplish? These are my big 3 for the week. They aren't small, random tasks like answer emails. They are the high-leverage activities, the needle movers that are directly aligned with my biggest goals for the quarter or the year. Maybe it's draft the first version of the marketing proposal, or complete the research for the new product, or create the workout plan for my new fitness goal. I write these 3 things down at the very top of the page. They become my North Star for the entire week. If everything goes crazy and fires start breaking out, I know that as long as I make progress on these 3 things, the week will be a win. This brings us to step 4, the most critical step, the scheduling. A goal without a plan is just a wish. This is where we take our goals and lists and give them a home in our calendar. This is where we build the actual structure. I open my digital calendar. The first thing I do is block in all my non-negotiable fixed appointments, meetings, doctor's appointments, my kids' soccer game. These are the rocks I need to schedule around. Next, and this is the game changer, I schedule my big 3. I don't just put them on a to-do list. I treat them like the most important meetings of my week. I block out specific 90-minute or 2-hour chunks of time to work on them. I might block out 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Tuesday with the title Deep Work Draft Marketing Proposal. These are appointments with my goals. By putting them on the calendar, I am defending my time for focused work against the inevitable invasion of shallow, reactive tasks. After my big 3 are scheduled, I look at my brain dump list from step 1. I start to group smaller, related tasks together. This is a technique called batching. Instead of answering emails randomly throughout the day, I'll schedule a 30-minute block for email and admin in the afternoon. Instead of running a different errand every day, I'll block 1 hour for errands on Thursday. I'll schedule a block for making phone calls. This is incredibly efficient because it keeps your brain in the same mode for a dedicated period of time. Finally, step 5 is the daily preview. The weekly plan is great, but the week is won or lost on a daily basis. So the very last thing I do in my planning session is look at my calendar for tomorrow, for Monday. I identify the single most important task for that day. Often, it's the first deep work block for one of my big 3. I take a sticky note, and I write that one task on it. And I stick it to the corner of my computer monitor. When I wake up on Monday morning, I don't need to check my email or think about what to do. I have a clear, unmissable signal telling me exactly where to start. This creates a productive domino effect that carries through the rest of the day and the week. And that's the whole process. Let me quickly recap the 5 steps. 1. The brain dump. Get everything out of your head. 2. The review. Look back to learn from last week. 3. The goal setting. Identify your big 3 for the week ahead. 4. The scheduling. Give every important task a home on your calendar. 5. The daily preview. Identify tomorrow's first domino. This whole ritual takes me about 30 minutes, but it saves me countless hours of wasted time, stress, and indecision during the week. It's the highest return on investment activity I do. This isn't about creating a rigid prison of a schedule. It is about creating a framework for freedom. The freedom to focus, the freedom from the anxiety of the unknown, and the freedom to truly be present with your family and friends, because you're not worried about what you should be doing. So this is my challenge to you. This week, find 30 minutes. This Sunday evening or Friday afternoon, grab a notebook and your calendar. Don't worry about doing it perfectly. Just walk through these 5 steps. Get it all out, look back, look forward, schedule your priorities, and set up your Monday for success. Take control of your time. Stop letting the week happen to you and start making the week happen for you. Design your life with intention, one productive week at a time.